Southwest Airlines has ended open seating. As I am talking to you right now, I'm not sure if this is a humble brag or if this is an indictment of me. I have 2.2 million Southwest airline points. I feel like I'm uniquely able to speak about this. I can't imagine there are that many Southwest Airlines customers that have ended up with a million or more Southwest points. So I have 2.2 million Southwest Airlines points. I flew Southwest to Milwaukee and back, met a bunch of you on the airplane. I am flying Southwest Airlines Sunday down to South Florida because I got to be down there for advertiser events. I have been flying Southwest my whole life as an adult because living in Nashville, Southwest Airlines is the airline that has the most nonstop direct flights anywhere else in the country. So I am a Southwest Airlines diehard. They are ending open seating. I hate it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I hate this idea of Southwest Airlines. Let me tell you why. I have the app on my phone. I fly all the time. I travel a lot. Sometimes I have to change the times that I want to leave. I like to be able to go in, just immediately see if there's going to be a seat available on a flight. I can switch easily. It doesn't cost me very much money. I think one reason that they're able to allow you to switch so much is because they don't assign seats. They have an A group, a B group, and a C group. I am A perpetually because of how much I fly. I also have the much vaunted companion pass. That means that my fortunate wife can fly for free with me on any Southwest Airlines flight I take anywhere in the country. Now, some of you, so I think this is a really bad decision. I like the ease of boarding. I'll tell you where I sit. Some of you have seen me. If I'm on a relatively short flight, that is, 2 hours or less, I will sit front row aisle seat. That's my preference. I want to get on and off the airline as fast as possible. By the way, I never check bags. No matter where I go, I'm not a bag checker. I'm not a fashion horse, but I just refuse to check bags. They always get lost. I'm impatient. I hate standing around waiting to see whether or not my bag's going to come off. I'm going to Israel. I'm going to South Florida. I'm going to New York. I'm going to Colorado. No check bag. I might have the hotel wash some of my clothes. I might just decide, you know what? I'll go buy a couple of new T-shirts or new shirts or whatever else. I'm not a bag check guy. Front row, aisle seat, or I've taken a lot of flights to LA over the years. I will go to the exit row and I will sit in the aisle. Now, some of you out there, when I shared this on social media earlier, some of you out there said, whoa, Clay, you're super rich. Why do you fly Southwest Airlines? Why do you fly Southwest Airlines? You are a 100 millionaire, which I am. You can afford to fly private anywhere in the country, which I can. I'll tell you. In fact, my wife has been on me lately. She said, hey, you shouldn't be flying Southwest Airlines. There's no security there. Somebody might say something mean. Somebody might try to pick a fight with you, whatever. She's been talking about this lately. I've never had a bad experience on Southwest. I'm a man of the people. I can't justify it. I was making $40,000 a year in 2011 when I started OutKick. 13 years ago, I was making $40,000 a year. For me to fly round trip on a private plane to New York City by myself costs around $25,000, roughly. Can be 20, can be 30, just kind of depends. Anyway, I almost have to pay as much to fly to New York City and back as I was making for a living in 2011 when I founded OutKick. I was doing 3 hours a day of daily radio at the Zone 1045 in Nashville, I would make nearly in a whole year what I would pay today to fly to New York City. Or I can pay like $300 or $400 for a Southwest ticket. I can't justify it. And you can say that I'm a bad rich person. You should say, oh, Clay, you should spend money left and right. I'm not opposed to spending money, but in my head, I'm always going to be a guy who was trying to raise 2 kids, pay a mortgage, and take care of my family on $40,000 a year. So when I hear that's what the flight would cost, and the other options like $400, I'm going to take Southwest Airlines. Now, there are times that I fly private, and I may buy a jet. I got to buy a lake house. I got the beach house. We're building a 20,000 square foot place, my wife is, here in Nashville that we're going to move into soon. It's going to have an incredible studio. Going to probably buy a lake house soon. These are the things that I want now that I'm rich. I'm probably going to buy a jet at some point. My wife is very anti buying the jet. There's a lot of expenses on it, everything else. Jets make sense for places that you want to go. I'm telling you now what I have learned now that I'm a rich guy that I didn't know when I was a poor guy. Jets make sense for places you want to go that are really hard to get to. I'll give you an example. It's not easy to get to Auburn, Alabama for a football game from where I live in Nashville. I'd have to commit 5 or 6 hours, as I have done, to drive to Auburn. I have to then get there, deal with the traffic, turn around, drive all the way back. That's a lot of effort. On a jet, I can go into Auburn, Alabama on the morning of a game, watch the game, turn around, fly back home, 45 minutes round trip. Each way, I mean. Super easy, boom, in and out. Got an Uber, take me right to the stadium. I did it last year to go to College Station. Not that easy from Nashville to get to College Station. I've flown private jets, private planes, sometimes smaller than jets, but a lot of times jets, into a lot of SEC towns because not that easy to get to. Fly into College Station, went to the Alabama, Texas A&M, took my family in and out same day. Houston, busy. National championship game, didn't know what was going to happen, didn't want to have to stay away from the kids, fly in and out with my wife, go watch Michigan play against Washington. She wanted to see that game, boom, in and out. With my family, WrestleMania. Wanted to go to WrestleMania in Philadelphia. Don't want to have to be away for days. Got the family in and out. When I have multiple people, 5 to 7, Omaha. Just took my family to Omaha. Took a buddy and his kid. In and out to Omaha. It's not easy to get to Omaha, Nebraska to go watch the College World Series from Nashville. Super difficult. Long, long drive. Many connecting flights. Not very many directs. Okay, I'm going to go in and out private. That's when it makes sense, when you got 5 to 7 people on a plane who are going the same place or more, when it's a difficult place to get to. Sometimes going down to the beach. Not that easy all the time to get to Panama City Beach. Maybe the flights are booked up on Southwest, which I will fly. Being rich, to me, doesn't mean that you make irrational choices. It means that you make, at least for me, choices that are justifiable within the larger context of your schedule. If I have to go make a speech and I don't want to stay away from my family for multiple days, going in and out on the day of the speech can make sense. That's a luxury, the time aspect, getting to a place that's not easy to get to. But a lot of people are like, why don't you just fly? It'd be crazy to me to spend $25,000 to fly to New York City when I can otherwise spend $400 to fly to New York City. That's kind of my thought process, again, as a newly rich guy, still in my head analyzing. Now, the reality is I'm saving a lot of money, and my kids are going to get it all. So they're probably going to be way worse at wasting money because they're probably never going to know what it's like to worry about having to pay your mortgage, hopefully. And you can say that makes them not really aware of what the real world is like. And I think that's true. When your dad is rich, when your family is rich, and you inherit money, you don't value it the same way when you didn't have it and you earned it yourself. So that's my thought. That's my analysis. I'll continue to fly Southwest Airlines, I think, for the rest of my life. Even if I buy a jet, I don't know that it's going to be worth flying it all the way to LA. Now, if you got a company and you're like, hey, part of the cost of this company is we're going to buy this jet, and we're, as part of your corporate compensation, we're going to insist, this is what they do. A lot of private jet travel is corporate, and the way they justify it as not being income, I've learned this, is they say, well, it's not safe if you aren't on a private jet. The CEO is too valuable. The CFO is too valuable. The founder is too valuable to be on regular commercial airline travel. So we have a private jet, and we want him to be able to fly wherever he goes as a part of its function of doing business. If I found a new company, is there a decent chance that that new company would buy a jet and that I would suddenly fly that jet everywhere and never fly commercial again? Yes. I was out to dinner recently with a corporate exec, and I was talking with him, and he had a flight to take that night, and we were talking about private jets, and I said, when's the last time you flew commercial? And this is one of the biggest flexes I've ever heard. He said, 1995. Guy's been flying all over the world. And I was like, not anybody at Fox, by the way. Not anybody you guys would know, I don't think. Not anybody who has like a super public profile. This executive, super rich, obviously, had not flown commercial airline since 1995. Nearly 30 years of private aviation. I was like, man, that's a hell of a flex to have been that wealthy for that long.